Hey guys, you voted and I'm here to let you know who the winners are for A&P-Reacts Viewers' Choice Awards 2020 Best Albums of the Year. We obviously going to work out some of the kinks, so for 2021 we're going to have even a much better process for you. But in the meantime, let's look at the numbers. Let's see who you voted for Albums of the Year. Starting off with Black Metal, and the winner is Karak Angren with Frankensteina Strength Montanas. I'm really happy to see this album get the love, get the support, and finish in first place and get the Viewer's Choice Award for Black Metal Album of the Year. A very strong album by the band, a really decisive album by the band. I felt like they continued everything that they've been doing up until this point, and this is one of their strongest albums to date. So it was not surprised to see that the viewers of our channel had a lot of love to give to Karak Angren, and that this album finished in the top spot. Well done, Karak Angren. Thank you everybody who voted for this record. For Core Album of the Year, we got Trivium, What the Dead Men Say. This was a record that had a lot of people talking, but I honestly feel like this is an album that just showcases how strong Trivium are. They're easily becoming one of those bands that cannot release a bad record. It seems like every album there's a huge amount of quality with the way they craft their songs, with the way they put everything together, the way they finalize the final product, and the albums are very balanced top to bottom. They don't put out records that have a few soft spots hidden in within the track listing. No, strong albums from the first song all the way to the last song, and What the Dead Men Say is proof of that they're continuing to release quality record after quality record, and they becoming one of the most consistent bands in metal. Now, as far as Death Metal Album of the Year is concerned, the winner is Benediction with Scriptures. This was a very strong album by Benediction. It came later in the year, and that allowed it to perhaps be a little bit more fresh in everybody's minds, but that takes nothing away from the quality of the record itself. I honestly really enjoyed listening to this album. This is an album that has a lot of strength in the sound and the vocals and how they're all come together. A little bit of an old school feel, but still sounding very modern in how it's all put together. So a very strong, one of the strongest, according to you, the strongest death metal album of 2020. As far as melodic death metal album of the year, I was so happy to see that you agree with me, and Dark Tranquillity with Moment takes top spot. This is, according to our viewers, the best melodic death metal album of 2020. So congrats to Dark Tranquillity. This was also my favorite album of the year, period. I love this record. I love the melody that it has. I love the clean vocals, the harsh vocals. How much clean vocals you're going to get with this album is outstanding. It adds a lot of melody, it adds a lot of presence, but it also adds a little bit of this incredible atmosphere, this very somber, melancholic atmosphere that this record has in bunches. Now, as far as prog album of the year, the Viewer's Choice winner is Enslave with Utgard. This was perhaps a little bit of a surprise for me, because I felt listening to this album that this was going to be a very divisive album. Not everybody was going to get the concept of the record. Not everybody was going to get what they were trying to do with this album. I still think that most of us that listen to the album and that enjoyed the record don't honestly grasp the full concept, the full idea behind this album. I think only the band really understands exactly what they wanted to do with this record, because it's a record that has a lot of layers. I think this is an album that it's going to take years, it's going to take time for us to listen to it, to really digest it, to really fully grasp how big, how enormous this album really is. So I was surprised that the fans are already showing a lot of love, and our viewers are already showing a lot of love to Enslave, and they voted Utgard the prog metal album of the year. Next we have the thrash metal album of the year, and the Viewer's Choice went to Testament, Titans of Creation. One of the most underrated thrash metal bands in the world. Everybody talks about the top four, the big four, and Testament is always left out of the conversation, and I think they deserve a seat at the table. And this album and the consistency of records that they've released in the last 10 years is proof of that. These guys have a formula, these guys have a DNA, they have a sound, they stay true with it, but they still find ways to evolve to make it better. Titans of Creation is definitely the result of that evolution and always trying to be better at what they do. Now, for folk metal album of the year, the Viewer's Choice is Ensiferum with Thalassic. I love this record. One of my favorite overall albums of 2020. I really like what Insiferum did with this record, and definitely adding Pekka as a second vocalist was the winning formula, not only for this album, but for the band as they move forward. It gives them a lot more to work with. It expands their sound, it expands their approach. They can do much more with their songs, with how they construct albums, and I think sky's the limit for Insiferum. I really feel like this album is going to reset the band, is going to reset everything that they have done, and we're going to see a much different Insiferum moving forward. Now, as far as symphonic power metal album viewer's choice of the year, the vote went to Nightwish with Human Nature. This is a colossal record. I love this album. I love the sound of the album. I love how it feels. I love the theme, because this is not a concept album, but I love the theme that this album has to offer. This is an album that you also have to get lost in it. You also have to digest it. You have to appreciate it for what it is. If you're going into this album thinking of the past, you're not going to enjoy the present. And this album is all about the present with a look into the future in terms of what the band can do, what they can bring, but also from a lyrical content, from a theme perspective. This album is really looking not just at the present day that we're in, but also looking at what the future has in store for us humans in this planet. Last but not least, the viewer's choice doom metal album of the year is Paradise Lost with Obsidian. This album was incredible. What an incredible album by Paradise Lost. One of my favorite overall albums of the year. I love the sound of this record. I love how strong it is. The drums are intense. The drums are powerful. The vocals are menacing. They're dark. They're somber. The overall melodies of this record are really intricate. They have a lot of layers to it. Each song almost gives you a different sensation, a different feel, but overall in the big picture of the album, you're still there, you're still in the mud, you're still trying to make sense of the things that make no sense whatsoever. This album really brings a lot of emotions out of the listener. It's a very well crafted, very well constructed record, and I'm happy to see that our viewers agree with me and consider this the best doom metal album of 2020. This is it, guys. I want to thank everybody that voted for the viewer's choice albums of the year, A&P-Reacts viewer's choice albums of the year. I want to thank you all for voting. We promised that we're going to streamline the process next year, perhaps adding more categories, make things easier for you, more straightforward. But for our first time doing this, I'm really happy with the results, and I'm really happy that you guys took the time to vote and pick your favorites and let us know where your thoughts are. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching all of our videos. Thank you for putting up with us. Have a happy holiday and a much better 2021. Take care, guys.